Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Nowhere is that phrase better illustrated than the series we bring you tonight. With 80 career modified starts, nobody has won more races, 25, or championships 4 in this series than Dalton Williamson. But it was 603 days ago when, like D.B. Cooper, Williamson took what he had won and vanished, leaving the league to be dominated by a new unknown demon. They call him Teapot, but don't let his dainty nickname fool you. Eric Stout is a dominant force, a 3-time champ, having won the last 2 titles. But this season, it is expected that, like Godzilla walking out of the oceans to save Tokyo from Mothra, Williamson will return in an attempt to save the series from Stout. But to focus only on those 2 behemoths would be a foolish disregard of the dangerous others. Behind Williamson and Stout and active drivers with highest win percentage is the prodigal son, A.J. Hamill, who returns this season as well. Former champ Jeff Aho is back, along with teenage heartthrob Kid Lemon Lime, Luke Logan Allen, and hot shoe rookie Hayden Austin. Lost alone as a child on high altitude and somehow managing to find his way home, Ethan, the Mountain Troutman's determination to succeed is obvious both in nickname and track performance. The series organizers have gathered a monstrous lineup that will see the Giants go to battle. So slide the lazy boy next to a load-bearing wall, flop down, pull the lever, and settle in for the excitement of simulated tour modifieds on a 7/8 mile asphalt tri-oval, streaming cyberspace into your place, sanctioned by the Red Light Racing League. From Iowa Speedway, it's the Virtual Grip Network's opening round coverage of the 15th season of the Skitter Creek Modified Series. A warm Hawkeye hello and welcome on this Thursday night, January 22nd, 2026. The institution, Short Track Baltimore, J.R. Shepard joins yours truly, Bill Stoops, on high to the VPN press box to bring you our words eye view. Turn the knobs and push the sliders, the boss man, Lowell Jewell. J.R., first off, I'm so glad to be back here working again with you. What can you tell the viewers about what we can expect tonight?
Yeah, excited to be back, Soup. This is Iowa. It's a D-shaped oval measuring in at 7/8 of a mile in length. In this place, it's exciting. It is a driver's track. That means if your car's not handling well in one lane, the driver's able to move around and search for grip in other lanes. This is a track that provides options and promotes side-by-side racing, but you have to be careful. This track does have a little bit of a character built into it that creates a challenge. Even though it is the paved version in the middles of turn 1 and 2, there is still a slight bump at the bottom of the track. If you hit that wrong, you're more than likely going to find yourself getting tight and pushing up the track, losing all of your momentum. On the other side of the track, you can carry a ton of speed through turns 3 and 4, and you can run all the way from the bottom to the top there. These drivers will have room, like I said, to move around and set up passes. So, Soup, I fully expect to see a great race here, but this is race number 1 of the season. There are a lot of unknowns and anticipation as we kick it off here tonight.
We have a new feature this season. It's called the Spotlighted Driver. We're going to spotlight one driver and give them an over-under number. You can go ahead and play along with us. JR, do it as well. Our spotlighted driver tonight is Bill Benedict. In the smoke-filled rooms in Vegas, Simon and Poindexter has put the line at 10.5. Now, that was before Benedict qualified second. So basically, JR, bet the under if you think Bill Benedict will finish in the top 10, over if you think he'll finish 11th or worse.
Yeah, definitely the under with Bill tonight. He's a driver that's known in this series, especially at the larger tracks. This is a larger, short track. I think he's going to do well here tonight. He did have a win, I believe, back at Phoenix last season.
Won the season over, if I remember right. Okay, let's go ahead and give you the starting grid right now as they're starting to grid up. On the pole, it is indeed the 3-time champion. They call him Teapot. It is Eric Stout. He's going to be inside of our spotlighted driver, Bill Benedict.
Inside row 2, previous champion Jeff Aho. On the outside, Dalton Williamson.
4-time champ sitting there in the 4th position. Andy Lewis will be starting 5th. He's going to be flanked by this hot shoe rookie, Hayden Austin.
Rolling off in 7th place, we have Rex Hoyle. 8th place, A.J. Hamill.
Finished second last season of the points, Ethan, the Mountain Troutman, with Jeff Lemire outside of him.
Inside row 6, we have Bradley Steffen. Outside, Josh Buckley.
In the Baker's dozen spot, it's always there, Fred Leclerc with Papa Kenny Allen in 14th.
And rolling off in 15th, we got Chris Oliver tonight. On the outside in 16th, Brian Bianchi.
Boy, Bianchi back there in 16th. That's a lot farther back. Look for him to work his way through the field. Fan favorite Brian Knapp will be starting in 17th. Alan Wanamaker outside of him.
Inside row 10, we got Lewis Flowers. And on the outside in 20th, Aiden Alvecchion.
Horrible qualifying performance by Chad Alcaraz. He'll be starting in the blackjack position. I believe he hails out of Spain. It's Ricardo Cano in the double duck spot.
Rolling off in 23rd position, we have Luke Logan Allen. And in 24th place, Devin Bisnoff.
25th is Double Deuce Bruce Pearson with Glenn Jameson in 26th.
And rounding out the field tonight, starting in 27th place, will be Chris Hazlip in that 93 car.
The Lipper with us. The Racing Rev. Boy, what a nice turnout here for the very first race. 27 drivers taking the grid. We gave you some of the storylines. Dalton Williamson coming back. He's got 4 championships, but they were a long time ago. JR, you have raced a lot, and then you've also taken breaks. I'm a musician, and sometimes when you're a musician, you can get rusty. Does that also apply? Do you think, like, if you haven't been racing a lot, can you lose your touch?
It could go either way, Soup. It's interesting. Every driver's a little bit different. You can definitely come back and be rusty, but I've also seen drivers come back and actually improve, taking a little bit of break. It gets that brain reactivated, the passion reactivated, and you come back stronger than you were before in some cases.
What a great answer. I love the way that you can say both sides of the coin and make it sound great. Man, it is so fun to work with you. Bad news for 26 drivers is that Eric Stout is out in front. Now, his little brother Patrick not here tonight, but this is not good. Wire to wire, I guess a possibility. Tire conservation, they do get to make a pit stop for tires if they want to. JR, do you think that's in the cards?
I definitely think, again, it comes down to when a caution may happen. But if we get just past halfway, I'm definitely going to come in and get tires because this is a place we're going to be carrying a lot of speed. There's very little off throttle time. You're going to be working those front tires, and that condition is going to get worse if you're back in traffic. So the best place to be tonight, without a doubt, is out front in that clean air. But absolutely, if we get a caution at a timely point in this race, come in and get tires.
Inside row has champions, 3-time champion Eric Stout on the front side of the inside, and right behind him another champion, the 21 of Jeff Aho. All right, the pace car is in. We wait. They have to wait for the flagman here. Gather up the chickens, take cover around the cows because the horses are out of the barn. Benedict working hard on the top side, trying to pin Stout down. Stout has about a half car length lead now. Here comes former champ Aho on the inside. Looks like the inside line is going to prevail early.
Absolutely. There's a lot of grip down there on the bottom, and ultimately I think these drivers are going to be fighting for that bottom position. But if you get side by side, the outside line will work. Bill Benedict's kind of showing that right now as he's side by side with Aho.
Boy, hanging in there, making Aho pay for it. Back there watching in 4th position all by himself is Andy Lewis. Williamson back in 5th. We talked a lot about him. We'll see if he still has it. Look what Benedict is doing on the outside, though. We are still working here. Lap number 2. He's making that outside line work. He's not giving up.
He's not. We talked about tires. It's going to be less work on his tires. As long as he's staying in what I call that grip strip, that new paved area, he's going to have less work on his front tires by being up higher through the turns, having less of a turning radius.
Okay, I'm going to jump you way back to the man who seems to be on the move. 20th position. This is Brian Visna. Up 4 spots. He's the only guy making up positions right now. We'll keep an eye on him. He could be up positions because he's using the stuff early, or he might just have a feel for it.
Yeah, so I think you're going to see some comers and goers in this race because this will be a track that it's going to take 10, 15 laps before you start to see it, but drivers will start to struggle with their tires if they're over abusing them, and that's really going to show up if you're somebody that's stuck right in behind of a driver that's right in front of you, not having that air or that downforce on the front end.
We're going to jump you around a lot. We're looking there at Papa Kenny Allen, going to jump you up to 6th position. Here's a man also making a move. This is A.J. Hamill. He took last season off. He knows how to win. We talked about his winning percentage. He's won 16% of any races that he started in. That's third best of any active driver. Right now, they are lined up in a train. In fact, look at Aho. We go up to second. Aho making a run at Stout. He gets a little bit loose, gets high, and that's going to open the door. Here comes Andy Lewis.
And that's the risk you're going to take in this race. Anytime you make a move, if it does not pay off for you, it could cause you to lose momentum, and that's going to allow the driver behind you to be able to make that move. Now, Ahu, he's not only going to lose second place, but he's going to fall into the clutches of Benedict right there and cut him off. I think he's come off turn 2.
Look what Benedict does. That was Ahu who does the over-under. He gets under. Benedict watching both the drivers in front. Aho fighting back now. Lewis in jeopardy of losing the spot that he just got. Great racing going on for second, third, fourth, and fifth. Nothing happened up front. Boy, I'll tell you, Eric Stout just happened to see him battle.
Yeah, and this is what we expected. This is Iowa. It gives you options to move around. You have great side-by-side racing. In these Tour Modifieds, you're going to be able to get big drafts, big runs down the straightaways, and you can take that to the inside or the outside as you get to the corner. So these drivers, they're having fun right now. It is very fun to be in a race like this.
Side-by-side battle. Williamson on the inside, Benedict on the outside. They battle back there for what would be fourth position. Williamson gets it. Has the sport pass me by, Soup? Williamson says no as he moves up into fourth. Another driver now making a move on Benedict. We talked about it. A.J. Hamill trying to duck in there. Doesn't work. He has to back out. He loses momentum. He's going to fall back into the clutches of this new rookie, Hayden Austin. He was really good in practice. Not quite as good in qualifying. Watch out for the number 32. He could be a name to watch.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some of those names that we expected to move toward the front. These drivers, they are being easy. I've been watching several of them, starting there with Dalton Williamson. They have not been in any kind of hurry to get up to the front. They are taking care of their tires. They're setting everybody up, and they're seeing what the different drivers have so that they can go to work a little bit later. This is the part of the race where you're trying to learn how you can set up your competitors.
Going to take it back again to Visna, who's in another battle. He's fighting in there. I think Flowers was in the mix. Yeah, Lewis, Wild, Flowers. They are 3 wide. This is going to be trouble. That's Flowers in the middle. Visna up top on the low side. He backs out of it. Was the 17 of Chad Alcaraz. Whoa, my nelliness.
That's as close as you can get, I believe, Super, without wrecking. I think there was contact there, but very heads-up aware driving by all three of those drivers, understanding that they were 3 wide and not creating a bad situation.
They are single file up in front of this. The action is a little farther back. Let's go up and look at car number 52. This is Jeff Lemire. I'm not familiar with his race. I'm sorry. Car number 15 is Jeff Lemire. He's on the outside. Working underneath him is the 52 of Chris. May I have some more Sir Oliver? In the popcorn position, that is Lewis Wild Flowers. Flowers got away from the nonsense going on behind him. Continues to climb up now, and he sees he's go underneath and see if he can follow Oliver through.
Yeah, and as we get deeper into this run, one of the things these drivers are going to have to watch out for, they've been back in this pack, so they've not had extremely clean air on the front nose. Their front tires are going to start to get hot. They're going to lose some slight grip. The big problem is as you continue to get them hot, you lose more and more grip, and that's fine when you're by yourself, but as you're racing side by side like we're watching on the screen here, it becomes tougher. It becomes a lot easier for that inside car to slide up into the outside car and make contact, going 3 wide down the front stretch.
Let's go up front. We got a battle for the lead. Stout left the door open underneath, and here comes Andy Lewis. Now, I think Lewis might be using his stuff up early. He's going to get a lot of love, a lot of screen time here from us at VGM, but I'm not sure if he's going to have much. He's racing really hard. That pass did not work. Now he loses momentum. Here comes Aho.
Oh, and you can right there. Aho's having to chase that car up the track, and it's because it's starting to get tight. So being on that bottom is going to become harder and harder as we go through this race. Almost contact as they go into turn 3.
Oh, yeah, a little rhinoplasty practice there by Lewis as he came down in front of Aho and got it sorted out. Now Aho's losing momentum. Here comes the number one. He races in that number one for a reason. Looking to go into third. It is Dalton Williams.
Yeah, and you could see how patient he was through turns 1 and 2. He carried a lot of momentum, but he did not move up into Ajo. He made sure he got off the throttle exactly when he needed to keep that car planted. And in return, he made a clean pass. Only took him a lap. So these other drivers, they need to pay attention to that as we continue to have a battle up front.
If at first you don't succeed, try and try again is the motto of Andy Lewis. He tried it once, it didn't work. He's there right now. He's underneath Stout. I don't think Stout is that worried about racing up top, saving the stuff on the high line, racing down below. Still, Stout the only driver to lead a lap so far, despite Lewis being right next to him. Here comes Williamson looking for any opening that is there. Now Lewis underneath. Can he get this done, JR?
Oh, it's going to be tough. He's going to lose some momentum as they come on to the dog leg on the front stretch here. And it does look like Stout's going to be able to have that better angle going into turn 1. That just allows him not to have to hold that car down. You see him start to move up the track. Lewis, he's going to lose some momentum, and I think that's going to allow Dalton to get to his outside.
JR, tell me if I'm wrong, but is that a case of Lewis can do that for 1 or maybe 2 laps and then it gives up? It looks like he just didn't have it there on the third time around.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Andy's being a little conservative with the racing line. This is race number 1 of the season. He doesn't want to push the envelope or create some contact. He could be a little bit closer to Stout before diving into the corner. That would give him a better entry. But that's just something you're going to have to learn. You see Dalton trying to make a move in the turn 3. They're almost contact with Andy Lewis.
8 championships among the front 4 drivers. 3 for Stout, 4 for Williamson, and how about 1 for Ajo? One of these things belongs together. 3 of these things are not the same. No, that's not how it works. I've been watching Sesame Street. Andy Lewis would like to get a championship in there if he's racing with these guys.
Yeah, so to your point, I think that shows what's to come in this season. Absolutely. These are the top of the top drivers in this series. So if you're racing with them, you've got what it takes to contend for that championship.
We were trying to keep track of drivers who were making their way through the field. 5 is the best number that anyone's made up. Devin Visna has not been able to pick up any more spots that we looked at him early. He's our big mover so far at 5. Well, let's try it one more time, says Andy Lewis. The answer is no.
Yeah, just doesn't quite have the momentum. I think he's going to have to take a break here, get back in line for a little while, and he needs to really focus through turns 3 and 4. If he could get a huge run through 3 and 4 and get that draft down the front stretch to make a big move on Stout going into 1, he can do a slide job and actually slide up in front of him, not have to worry about holding that car down. So that's what he's got to focus on. You got to have a big, big run out of 4.
Williamson made a run at Lewis, lost momentum, fell back into the clutches back there with Ajo. They came together, but they keep it going straight. Lewis one more time going at it. Am I right, JR? It looks like Teapot is leaving the inside open, and I think he's happy to let him go down there and race up top.
Yeah, I think he's happy with that. Eric's smart when it comes to these cars. He knows what it's going to take to make them last throughout the whole run and the line that he needs to run to do that. So he's not looking to hold that bottom at all. It's starting to stutter a little bit because I see Andy Lewis moving up the track again. And yeah. I'm okay with Andy Lewis, pushing hard here with Eric, because at the end of the day, I talked about it at the beginning, the car out front has a huge advantage by having that clean air. So if you're out there pushing, trying to get it, you are making Eric have to work just a little bit harder, even though Eric is leaving that inside line.
Well, now I think Jeff Ajo is going to go to the outside and see if he can roll around the top and keep Lewis pinned down underneath. He doesn't get the momentum. Williamson watching. Williamson drops down to 4th as Ajo is making that top side work now.
Yeah, and that's something you're going to have to watch out for. Oh, see, Ajo touched the wall just a little bit. It's not going to hurt the car, but grazing a little bit off of turn 2. He's trying to carry as much momentum as he can. But if you're Andy Lewis, you have to be looking in your mirror a little bit, because as you're trying to make those moves on the leader, the driver behind you might be trying to make a move on you. And if Aho's able to get to the outside, that could be position over for Andy Lewis. He will lose at least one spot.
It's a 9-car train up front, and the caboose right now is Ethan the Mountain Troutman, but he doesn't like being the caboose. He's working underneath the 5th floor of Rex Hoyle, and he gets that done. Here comes the Mountain Troutman. We like to jump around and show you the racing all through the field, but right now I'm telling you, the racing is so dynamic up front, we just can't leave this front train. Tip of the hat to the guys in the back, the mid-pack, who are racing clean and just having just as much fun, racing just as hard. We'll get back to you in a minute, but right now we're focused up front.
Yeah, and on our screen, you see this long line of cars right now. Everybody's kind of single filed out. You do see some passing or attempted passes occurring throughout the field, but this long line of cars is occurring because of this track situation and the car that we're in. These Tour modifieds, they create big drafting, and in return, if you're a driver that's not able to keep up by yourself, you can keep up in one of these trains. And Andy Lewis, he's going to continue to try to make passes on Eric Stout, but Eric's just doing everything perfect right now at this point in the race.
I almost got to think Stout's saying, just go for it. Now, the problem that Stout is doing is he's leaving the inside open, and I think both you and I, JR, have had our breath kind of taken away a little bit when Lewis starts to chase the car up. And if you know the history of a Red Light Racing League event, the leaders are not safe. It's notorious for getting taken out. So that's what I worry when he lets Lewis get underneath him. He's not asking for trouble.
It is a big risk. I've been there as a driver. The thing is, Eric understands that risk, and he's willing to take those chances because Eric's about going out here and trying to win races and get the most points each and every week. So he's going to allow that, but absolutely, Soup, it is a risk because that inside driver, even if they are a clean driver, at some point there's going to be some slight mistake that allows you to push up the track into that other car. So never know. You spoke about it, the Red Light Racing League, we do have accidents up front quite often.
It's a 12-car train up front. Let's focus on the new caboose. It's always there, Fred Leclerc. Back there racing in car number 71. JR made a good point. Don't know if he has the pace, but maybe the draft is keeping him there. Just in front of him, we haven't talked a lot about Granny Hips, Joshua Buckley, racing in 11th.
Yeah, you know, based on last season, I mean, Josh Buckley's one of those drivers where we might not talk about him a whole lot throughout the race, but somehow he finds his way up toward the front at the end, especially if there's some crazy stuff happening. He's one of those drivers that's just able to find his way through the mess and the carnage and get up front. So he may be back in 11th right now, but we've got a long way to go still. All
right. For the 4th or 5th time, Lewis tries it. It does not work. JR, based on the racing that's going on, if tire management means anything, I got to think that Andy Lewis is just using up his stuff. There's got to be, if a pit stop is going to be made for tires, it's going to happen to Lewis. Now Lewis gets stuck on the top side. Here comes Aho trying to get underneath. Boy, that inside line gets you there, but you just can't finish it.
Yeah, it's hard to do, especially if that driver you're trying to pass is going to try to hold you down or pinch you down a little bit. It just doesn't give you enough room to really carry that momentum through the center of the corner. I do believe that Aho is faster than Lewis, maybe even faster than Stout, but it's becoming more and more difficult to make those passes. A couple of the drivers that I'm watching for are those back two on our screen there, Dalton Williamson and Bill Benedict. I don't think they've really done a whole lot of pushing. I think they've been riding, so a couple of more laps, they may have an advantage here on tires.
And remember, Benedict is fast. He was the second fastest qualifier, so if he has some stuff at the end. And honestly, with the competition right now, and everybody's so close, I don't see how you could make a stop for tires. It seems like you would lose so much track position. One more time for Lewis. One of these times, Aho is going to get to the top side, pin Lewis down, and get that position, I think.
Yeah, he's trying hard. He just could not get to the outside. Now he's going to try to take an inside run and dive way low on the front stretch, trying to get that momentum on the entry to turn one. We'll see how close this is.
And all the horseplay going on in front of him, not participating in any of the reindeer games, is Dalton Williamson and Bill Benedict. I think my partner might have been onto something. When they start racing a little later in the race, maybe the number one, maybe that number 90 will have something for the guys. With that said, Williamson says it's time to go. He tries to go to the inside. Can he make it work? We haven't seen anybody do it. He loses momentum. Now look at the run from Benedict. Benedict says, nope, not yet, Soup. Not time to go.
Not yet. I saw up front Andy Lewis almost got to the outside of Eric Stout, but right now we see Williamson and Aho continuing to run side by side. That's the longest we've seen anybody run side by side this late in the race. So if anybody's got some tires, we talked about it, Williamson just might be able to make this pass. It's going to take him a while, but he might be able to do it.
Look at him coming at you. Boy, what a great line. You see 2 wide up front, 2 wide in the second row, single file behind him. Once again, the 12th car in this train is Fred Leclerc. Buckley ahead of him. These are guys that could be a factor later on. Ethan Troutman. We haven't talked much about Rex Hoyle in the 54. He's beginning to lose touch with the front runners. How about Bradley Steffen? Have not mentioned him. He's back there in 8th position. He's waiting to stop. Oh my goodness, look what's happened. We got 3 wide up front. That's Benedict down low. I think he's going to make it work. Williamson says, I don't want any of this. He gets together with Aho. Benedict saves it. He's going to lose some spot, but what a catch from the 90.
Yeah, humongous catch by the 90. I can tell you when you get one of these cars touching the apron with those left side tires, this car whips around like it's on ice, and Bill was able to hang on to it. So great job to keep a screen flag. He's going to lose a lot of position, but he's got time to make it back up.
Oh my goodness, 3rd, 5th, and 7th position like animals getting ready to get on Noah's Ark. They are 2 by 2. Now they get it sorted out. A little bit of a hello there from the 32, the rookie of Austin. Gives a little bit of a bump to AJ Hamill. Hamill in that blue car.
Yeah, you know, that's the great thing about these cars, Soup. The bumpers line up really well on a track like this. You can make contact. You can bump draft and do those little things and it not kill the driver in front. So you do see contact, and we've seen it a lot in the Red Light Racing League. This is just something that is normal.
There are rookies and then there are rookies. This is the debut race for Hayden Austin. Usually there's some dues to pay, but right now he's up there racing with the old timers. A lot of experience there from AJ Hamill. Bill Benedict made his debut to the season last season.
Yeah, and all that exciting racing that we saw, what it has done is it has broken up the leaders you see on your screen right now. Lewis is going back for a pass, and this is exactly what I would be doing in that situation. He's opened up a gap, so he's got opportunity to try to make a pass without losing position.
This is the best he's been so far, and I think he might have got credit with leading that lap. He did. And I think he's going to finish it. Now, can he come up and finish the slide job? He does, but here's the momentum. A little hokey-doke, a little dipsy-do, a little up and under, a little huckle-duck. Here comes Teapot.
Yep, and I think Lewis is going to be okay with that as long as he carries that momentum off of turn 4. He's going to be in the better position as we get down here, and a caution's out, Soup.
He got the pass made. Oh, I think it's the rookie. He got into it. It was Austin who got into it with Hamill. They lose momentum. And then it was the 90 of Benedict that couldn't get on the binders. Take a look at it, JR.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You talked about it. Yeah, the 32, the rookie getting in there a little bit hot. I believe Hamill had kind of been backing up that corner lap after lap, and he just didn't expect that. And in return, just a big checkup. Benedict not able to avoid that. But I think Benedict may have minimal damage right there. They may all be able to continue here and still have some speed.
Big news. One taker was Lewis. He comes in for a pit stop. Jeff Aho coming in. Oh, the track position these guys are going to lose. Hopefully they get some other guys that are going to come with them.
Yeah, Soup, I kind of talked about that timely caution. If it's around halfway, absolutely. But we're down to 15 laps to go. We're going to have less than that when we go green. And we know these modifieds are notorious for finding grip once those tires cool down. I believe these guys up front are going to have enough to hold it off. So I just would not have taken tires, especially if I had that track position up front.
Again, maybe the case of Lewis and Aho racing so hard, maybe their hand was forced to play those cards. Well, the racing gods are a fickle bunch, let me tell you. In the opening, we set it up. It was the battle between Godzilla and Mothra, Stout and Williamson. And what do they do with the shootout ahead of us? They put them side by side. Now, I don't remember if this series lets lane choice for the leader. I believe it does. I would
They
wonder.
do.
It
Yep.
looks like Stout wants the inside, though.
Yep, they absolutely let you take lane choice. Now, the interesting thing in this series, we have to go on green. The leader doesn't get to take off before that green flag comes out. So that may be why Eric is taking the inside lane. He wants to make sure he's got the least amount of distance to travel before he gets to turn one, and in return might be able to do a slide job if it's needed there.
Lewis in 12th, Aho in 14th. Working lap number 57. When we go green, my eyes are bad. I guess we're going 70. Is that true? We going 70 laps, really? I thought we were only going 60. Okay, 70. My partner has it, so that's about 14. The lights stay on the pace car. Let's set the table for you. AJ Hamel in third. Bradley Steffen. And for all the teenage girls watching at home, Kid Lemon Lime, Luke Logan Allen, up a ton of spots. Racing in seventh, 16 positions better than where he started.
Yeah, and we've seen in previous races, Soup, where you get Luke Logan some track position, and he'll find a way to get that speed out of the car. So this could get interesting here. We could see a lot of action up front when we take this green flag. And you're also going to have those guys with new tires trying to come through the field. So things are going to get mixed up. I'm not sure this is the last caution that we'll see.
All right, the pace car pulls in, and now control of the field is given to the flagman. They wait, they wait, they wait, they wait, and they go. What a good start from both the front row drivers. Now, Williamson has Stout pinned in there. Stout has enough to pull up. He can finish the deal, and he does. Up to Williamson out of two. Look at the run. He gets down underneath. He's got a ton of speed. He dives down, but he backs out of it. He tries to keep it in there. Stout pins him down low. Look at the two champions racing for all they're worth.
They are absolutely pushing hard. If you got any tire left, this is the time to use it. And right there behind him is Bradley Steffen trying to see if there's an opening anywhere that he can go to make a pass on those two leaders as well.
Steffen with a reputation for finishing second right now. He races in third behind, 7 championships in front of him. We haven't talked a lot about the driver in fourth. That's Ethan the Mountain Troutman. He's coming as well. Finished second in the points last season. You got to wonder that maybe all the hassle that Lewis gave Stout earlier in the race, maybe Williamson was back there. Maybe he has a little more stuff to race right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He was definitely one of the drivers I was watching at saving the tires. But now, big crash going into turn one. I see Josh Buckley getting collected in the aftermath there. Not sure where that started, but there's some hard hits into the turn one wall.
Boy, this one started way up, and then there were some latecomers getting into it.
Yeah, I see AJ Hamel out there. So I caught it out of the corner of my eye on a previous lap. AJ got into the wall. I believe it was coming off of turn two, and I just wonder if he had a little bit of damage there, but it looked like he and Bisnall getting together as they went across the start finish line. Yeah, his car kind of bobbled there. It's a little bit odd. So I don't know if Hamill was having some issues from that contact that occurred earlier.
Well, JR, because of the attrition and the movement that they've made, that puts Andy Lewis into 8th and Jeff Aho into the top 10. Perhaps that's enough time for them. We are running late on laps. It's almost boogie time here. In fact, it will be boogie time as soon as we go green. Don't know if there's enough time, but it's certainly better than it was.
Yeah, at this point, the new tires would really start to shine after you had 5 or 10 laps under them. But at this point, we don't have that much time left in the race. So, what those drivers are going to be banking on is hoping that we do get more cautions. We do have up to 3 green-white checkered attempts. So, every time you have a restart, that's an opportunity to make some big moves. And those drivers with the fresher tires could make those moves on the outside where a lot of the other drivers can't, just don't have that extra grip. So, have to pay attention to that, but absolutely, I think they're going to want a few more cautions so they can continue to move up the order.
One of the new features we're bringing over to the Red Light Racing League broadcast, along with your spotlighted driver, is boogie time. The lights are on. It will be time to boogie when the car pulls in and these guys go green. We're going to be working lap number 65 when we go green. That is just 5 laps to go. Benedict, who I believe was caught up in that issue, is back there in 13th spot to make my partner a winner. He's got to get into the top 10, doable for eggs.
All right, Soup. So we're looking on the screen here. We see how everybody is intending to line up, and you see Eric Stout taking that inside line. Same thing as the last restart. So be interested to see if Dalton Williamson has learned anything that he can use on this restart to take it to Stout, especially coming out of turn 2. He did a good move last time, but can he do something a little bit different that creates more speed?
Pace car comes in. Working lap 65. The pace car does not come in. We're going around one more time.
Yeah, Iowa tends to be one of those weird tracks on the iRacing service where we seem to get an extra pace lap every time. So a little bit longer here, but yeah, going to make these drivers just that much more anxious as we go green here. Going to be some big moves, I anticipate.
Oh, Andy Lewis and Jeff Aho, not a fan of that. They need all the laps they can use on their new tires. Haven't talked a lot about car 71. Always there, Fred Leclerc, living up to his nickname. Started in 13th, and there he is, there in 5th spot.
Yeah, Ken Allen right beside him too. So we've had some big movers, and they found themselves up front at the end of this race here.
Now the pace car comes in. The GGA is ready. Cue the music. If you're thinking about winning, get the mirror ball spinning. Put on your dancing shoes, rip the groove, make your move. It's time to boogie. And the man out on the dance floor right now is... Oh, do we have another caution? We do.
We had a caution right as the green flag came out. I have no idea what it was for, but it was almost immediate. It was on the restart. We see right there, Brian Bianchi. Yep, getting turned sideways. And sometimes there are checkups, especially as you get further back in the pack right there. And you can see there was that slight checkup up front. The cars behind just didn't have time to react.
Oh my goodness, it was the 14. And then it was Bill Eggs Benedict that did a little bit of scrambling there.
Oh, and it's interesting, Soup, because it looks like Williamson was slightly out in front when that caution came out. So he's actually got the position here. He is the leader of this race.
Oh my.
And I can tell you that's the easiest way to make a pass.
He didn't have to finish the pass. He just had to get out there and have the yellow. All right, JR, I'm going to put you on the spot and pull back the curtain here at VGN. I did not do my homework. I thought I knew this series, but sure enough, we have green-white checkers here, do we not?
Absolutely, and we can have up to 3 of them.
Oh my!
It could get long, and the Red Light Racing League is known for having late cautions. We tend to have great races. It's just as you get to the end of it, we have a lot of cautions, and we have gone into that 3rd attempt before. So we'll see how it stacks up here.
Lewis and Aho racing 8th and 9th. They're the drivers who came in for tires. Our spotlighted driver, Bill Benedict, back in the Baker's dozen spot, still has 3 positions to make up to get to that under mark. Williamson and Stout side by side. The man who finished 2nd in the points last season, Ethan the Mountain Troutman, going to start inside of row 2. The most famous bridesmaid in the history of the Red Light Racing League, Bradley Steffen. Ken Allen, back in 5th.
Yeah, I think we still have another lap before we go green here. But, you know, this is potentially the last restart. We could get another caution and go green again. But I think a lot of the determining who's going to be leading coming out of turn 2 is going to come from row 2. So if row 2 gives you a good push, you're more than likely going to have that driver that's got enough momentum to clear going into turn 1 and take the lead. So right now, Eric Stout is really hoping that Ethan Troutman can give him a push so he can get that lead back, because it does look like he's going to be given the opportunity to start on that inside line once again.
So how is that push given? Is that given you get on the throttle early? Is that what you want to do? And when the flagman comes down, you get the push there? Or how do you do it from row 2?
It's got to be timed, and it's difficult from the driver's seat, but it's got to be timed because, like I said, we cannot go green in this series until the green flag comes out. The leader can't take off before that. So those drivers back in the pack, they've had some cautions now, some restarts. They know approximately when that green flag comes out, and if you time it correctly and make that contact right as it comes out, that'll shoot that driver forward. But if you don't, you can create a big stack up. So it is risky, but I think that's what it's going to take.
So if you're in the front row, you're hoping for it. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. Williamson's on the outside, Stout on the inside. Maybe a little better start from the inside of Stout. Is there a bump coming? Not yet. Stout with good momentum. Now, look at the inside, work hard. Can he get there? That's Troutman trying to get to the inside, trying to steal that 2nd position. This is great for Stout. They come around. He's going to see the white flag, and this will be the end of it. He comes through. We go one more lap, and we're going to get her up the winner. They're coming on the top side. They're coming on the low side. All sides for Teapot. Troutman can't get it done. Now, with momentum up top, it's Williams. Somebody's running out of real estate. 2 quarters to go. Teapot making the corners wide as a Julia Roberts style. Looking for a good fight. The opening round is season 15. Goes to the reigning 3-time champion, Eric Teapot Stout. Dalton Williamson gets 2nd. Ethan Troutman 3rd. Sweet Sassy Melassie, what a great race.
Yeah, fantastic finish to that race. Way to finish it clean, and a lot of exciting racing up front. And at the end, you get the drivers that we kind of expected to be up front. The cream kind of rising to the top there at the end.
It's funny how that happens. The racing is over. The broadcast is not. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Don't go far. You're watching the Virtual Grid Network. Welcome back to Iowa Speedway and the Virtual Grip Network's opening round coverage of the 15th season of the Skitter Creek Modified Series, of course, sanctioned by the Red Light Racing League. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. Well, he started on pole and he finished in the lead, but that really is not the story of this race. He was challenged often, first by Andy Lewis and then at the end by Dalton Williamson, but it was Teapot able to hold off the rest of the field as Eric Stout gets the first win of the season. Returning back, we staged it as Godzilla returning to fight Mothra, and there they were. But this time it was Mothra getting the best of Godzilla as Dalton Williamson had to finish second. Ethan the Mountain Troutman finished second in the points last season. He gets a third tonight. Bradley Stefan a fourth. Fred always there, Leclerc, and there he is, always there, getting the top five. Lewis Wildflowers in sixth with Papa Kenny Allen behind him. Andy Lewis, man, did he put on a show, but a late pit stop strategy maybe cost him a chance for the win. He'll have to settle for eighth. Same strategy for Jeff Aho as he has to settle for ninth. And rounded out to top 10, fan favorite. Didn't see a lot of him on screen tonight. Brian Neff, well done. Partner, who's after that?
Yeah, coming home in 11th place tonight, we got Bill Benedict. He ran up front, but had some issues late in this race. Glenn Jamison, he'll come home in 12th place. Josh Buckley comes home in 13th after having some contact with the wall. Rex Hoyle, he comes home in 14th. Chad Alcaraz comes home in 15th place. Chris Oliver, 16th place tonight. Jeff Lemire, he'll come home in 17th. Aiden Alvecchion, he'll come home in 18th place. Brian Bianchi, he was caught up, in a wreck on the front stretch toward the end there. He finishes 19th tonight. And Chris Hazlip, he will come home in 20th.
And then there are two more cars on the lead lap. The Spanish driver, Ricardo Cano, nice race for him. He finishes in the blackjack position, and Devin Visna gets the double duck spot. Then rounded out the field, these guys had issue. 1 lap down was Alan Wanamaker. 9 laps down was Luke Logan Allen. Kid Lemon Line didn't have the results he wanted. Hotshot rookie Hayden Austin, he's fast, but he has a little bit to learn about finishing. He's going to finish in 25th. After him, A.J. Hamels, a tough return to the series for him, with Double Deuce Bruce Pearson not making the start tonight. 2 points before we go to the interview. First of all, how about those guys in Las Vegas, Simon and Poindexter? They know how to set a line. They set it at 10.5. Where did Bill Benedict finish today? How about 11th? Just a tick under the line means that my partner missed that one, or tick over the line, I guess you want to put it that way. And with that said, let's go ahead and talk to the race winner. It is Eric Stout. We'll dial him up. Eric, congratulations on the win. No thoughts for tires, I would think, at the very end there. And boy, we staged it as Godzilla against Mothra, the two former champions going at it, and there it was.
I said to AJ with like 15 to go after we didn't pit, and we did debate. We went back and forth, and we were like, and then actually I quickly flashed back to Loudon last season where I did pit and just didn't have the laps left to make it up. So we said we'll roll the dice and stay out. And then as we were gridding, I said to AJ, I was like, is this not exactly how it should have been with Dalton and I out front on night one, and obviously AJ no slouch himself. So yeah, great racing, really fun battle with Andy early. I was actually I wanted to like come over the radio and be like, dude, like chill out, there's a long way to go. But we had a good battle. He raced me clean. And if we had gone green, I definitely don't think I would have been able to hold him off. He's good at these kinds of tracks. I don't know where he ended up, but I think he had a pretty good run. So yeah, just obviously want to come out with with a win at any opportunity. But to come out night one and sort of be able to duel like that and race clean with everybody and get an exciting finish. I'm gonna guess that it made a pretty exciting broadcast. Couldn't really ask for much more.
Well, congratulations on the win. Good way to start the season. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Soup.
Eric, Teapot Stout, your race winner now with the man who finished the second, my partner, J.R. Shepard.
Absolutely. Hey, Dalton Williamson there. Congratulations on that second place run. I know you're making your return to this series after having a great career in it. Got to ask you, how was that return, and how much fun did you have at Iowa tonight? Looked like a lot of fun out there moving around.
I had fun with it. It's not really my cup of tea in the modifieds. I like to do like short tracks, like Langley next week, stuff like that. That's my cup of tea. But I had a good time tonight.
I got to ask you because we were speculating on the broadcast early in the race. Didn't look like a whole lot of movement out of you. Were you anticipating some tire wear and kind of saving so you can go up there and battle with those guys late? Because looked like you had a good car at the end.
With the aero model, kind of saving, kind of didn't want to go early because the way the air works in this car, getting tight underneath somebody, like there's a car in front of you, but there's not really. I was kind of waiting to kind of save the right front and try to keep the drive off it or in it, and you know, let the cards fall where they fell.
Well, obviously worked out pretty well for you here tonight. I'll get you out of here on this one, Dalton. Is there any other race that you're looking forward to this season? I know you said you like places like Langley. Is there any other track kind of stands out to you as we get into this season?
Uh, To be honest, I haven't really looked at the schedule.
It's
Uh,
early. It's early.
but I'd say Langley, South Boston, really any of the really short stuff. That's my cup of tea. Any of that
Gotcha.
stuff's my
I'm with you on that. All right, man. Hey, congratulations on second place tonight, and we look forward to a good battle this season. You got a lot of speed. There's a lot of people that have speed here, so put on some good racing for us, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys doing the broadcast, and hope y'all have a good night. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, man. That was Dalton Williamson, Soup. That's our second place finisher here tonight. Who do you have now?
He sounded very calm and collected. I think he's a force to reckon with as the season goes on. I got Ethan the Mountain Troutman. Ethan, you started in ninth, took your time, patience, worked your way up, and at the end, I thought maybe you had a shot to win this thing.
Yeah, it was a little bit of forced patience, really. The traffic was just so hard. Once you stuck behind somebody, it took a lot to get around them. So I think being back there, kind of being forced to be patient, really helped me save tires for the run there. And yeah, you know, I went for it. I tried my best to dethrone Eric to start the season off, but I couldn't. Any harder in, I would have got into him, and that'd have been a whole thing. So
We saw driver after driver try the inside line. We've seen a couple people make it work, but that was so tempting to go down there, and it seemed so hard to finish the job.
yeah, on that last lap, he kind of came down to kind of like let me know he was going to guard it, but at the same time, he left enough room to fit a car in there. So you can get down in there. It's just hard to get the car rotated and gas back up, especially because I'd been running a pretty high entry compared to everybody else the whole race. I would enter pretty high and get pointed down and get a good run off. But being pinched, I was under Dalton there, and I knew I got inside of Eric. I was just hoping I had a little more rotation with maybe I'd saved more tire than he did from where he was battling for lead the whole time. But at the end of the day, got out the clean race, got a podium to start the season, switched to my OG number 62. I'm overall happy.
We'll get you out of here on this one. Tell me if this is a pie in the sky optimism for me. But it seems to me with a little seasoning that you had last year, finished second in the points, and the way that you race seem to always stay out of trouble and get good results. Is a championship? Do you give yourself a chance to say, I'm championship, I'm championship quality?
I'd like to think so. That's kind of the mindset each and every week. Um, I kind of prefer a season-long format as opposed to our Monday night series where we do a playoff. That way you can
Right.
afford to be patient and afford to maybe not force an issue. But I try to mind my P's and Q's as long as I can in a race. Um, but yeah, there's second season. I'm hoping to improve, but there's a lot of people who people have returned, like Dalton, who's good. You've got Eric's brother, who won a lot last season, and I'm sure he's going to be forced to be reckoned with. We'll just have to wait and
It's
see.
it's funny. You got better, but so did the competition. This is going to be a great season. Congratulations, I think, on a great start to the season for you. A third place. That's how you're going to get yourself a championship. Go get them. We'll see you down the road.
All right, thanks.
All right, that's going to do it for us here at the Virtual Grip Network. But this broadcast may be wrapping up, but we're going to be doing things. Oh my goodness! I have been told by the producers here at VGN that the viewing audience is very intelligent and is literate, so you can read all those places that we're going. My, we have a show almost every night of the week for you here on the Virtual Grip Network. That's if you don't have, who needs Netflix when you got that right there? With that said, we'd like to remind you that all those broadcasts, past ones, future ones, are all a production of the Virtual Grip Network, and we hope you enjoy what we do here. If not, we'll try to do better next time. On behalf of the entire crew that you're going to see in a minute, that's me up in the left corner. I don't know where JR is. He's down there somewhere. We don't think that highly of him, so he's buried a little farther down the list. Find him. We'd like to thank you all for watching, and until next time, have fun storming the castle.